What's going on? I'm Marcus, and you're at the channel The Debt Free Dad, where we're following my debt free journey and talking about finances. In this Friday's edition of Free Game Friday, we just gonna have a little conversation. I'm gonna give my thoughts and opinions, and I definitely want y'all feedback in the comments. Where we're gonna talk about what is a parent's obligation to take care and help their adult child. I don't know. Where I'm coming from, around your 17th birthday, you start getting army brochures under your pillow. People want to know what's going on. Are you going to school? Where I come from, a lot of people ready to boot you the hell out the house at about 17 to 18. I left the house at 18 and been gone ever since. But we want to talk about, hey, as a parent, what is your obligation to take care, help, provide for your adult child? So that's what we're going to talk about. It ain't going to be no table talk because we just going to have this nice conversation going. So the reason I thought of this topic, as y'all can tell, is, well, I know y'all seen in the news, Dr. Dre worth $800 million. He probably going to be a billionaire sometime next year. He'll probably bust through that and become a billionaire like Jay-Z. And I don't know, it's going to be a race between Dr. Dre and Diddy. I think Dre is ahead of Diddy with the Beats by Dre sale, but that's a whole nother story. Dr. Dre worth $800 million. His daughter is 38 years old, and there's been this story out there that she's homeless, she's living in a car, she tries to reach him, she can only contact him through his legal team and haven't heard back from him. Apparently he hasn't given her any assistance. I think in the past 18 months is what the story said. Now, before I dive into my thoughts on that story, let's talk about a few things, a few of my beliefs and how things generally work. Generally, I think, hey, when you have a mother and a father, a husband and a wife, typically, if you have a son, the mother has that extra soft spot for the son. So if your son is older, he's having trouble, mom is always going to be there. And most times it's inverse. If you have a daughter, dad is like, oh, let me go help my baby girl. So normally that's kind of how things work out. But another thing that I would take into consideration if it were my kids and they were grown ass adults and needed help and was struggling, the other thing is, what the hell are you doing with yourself? Now, if my son, when he turns 18, hey, as long as you're being productive, you're working, you're not out here causing trouble, you're in school, even if you aren't in school, you're working, you're doing something productive to be a productive citizen, I'm not necessarily going to be in no rush to kick you out when your ass out in the streets. Now, as he gets older, at 38 years old, my position is, hey, I'm there to help you, but I'm not there to be your fail-proof safety net. Nah, sometimes the only way you can learn is if you fall and get scuffed up on the concrete. So I'm not going to always be that safety net for somebody who damn near 40 years old. That's kind of where I go. The other thing is, it really depends on the type of relationship that the parents and the child have. Clearly something is weird with this whole Dr. Dre and his daughter situation. The fact that she can't call him personally and she got to contact his attorney sends a plethora of red flags up that they clearly have some things going on in their relationship. A little bit of background. We all know who Dre is. He's worth $800 million. He does have several other children. I think 8 children total. 1 passed away. This young lady is the oldest, I believe, at 38. She's unemployed, living in her car. She's a single mother of 4. Right now, her 4 kids are staying with friends. They're not living in the car. She drives like Uber, DoorDash, and she has a job. I think where she makes like $15 an hour working in a factory. So this is going to be interesting. First of all, I think it's crazy that she's putting him out on blast for not doing anything because, hey, I don't care if that's your father. As a 38-year-old person, you obligated to take care of yourself and your kids. That don't mean that people can't help you out, but, hey, in my view, nobody obligated to do shit for you. Nobody obligated to do nothing for you. I actually tell my kids all the time, the only people who care about your opinion in this world, stay in this house. Once you leave outside of this house, most people don't give a damn. So not all, but most people don't give a damn. Alright, so the other thing that we have to take into consideration is what type of decisions have this young lady been making all the way up until the age of 38? She's already said, and it looks like several interviews that I read, that hey, at one point he was giving her allowance and paying her rent, and he was giving her money and had her on allowance all the way up until 18 months ago. So essentially, till she was 36, 37, he was really the brunt of her financial support. What the hell has she been doing from 21 to 36 to where she didn't try to put herself in a position to change her financial situation? And hey, this is no knock on her, but this is just a question that I would have to ask because she has 4 kids. She's a single mother. I couldn't find anything about the involvement of her father's in these kids' life, but I'm just gonna go ahead and guess, and I'm assuming that it's not that great considering the fact that the kids would have to live with friends as opposed to live with their father. So that's another thing. So at the end of the day, I'll tell you my position. I'm not obligated to take care of no adult. I don't give a damn if it's my child, my mother. The only thing I'm obligated to take care of is my family under this household and my children until they reach a certain age. Once they reach a certain age, as long as they're being productive, as long as they aren't on knucklehead status, they're making good decisions, I will be there to help them if they need help, but I'm not going to be a safety blanket. Don't come to me looking for handouts. Don't come to me if you're continuing to make bad decisions expecting me to bail you out. I'm not going to do it. That's just kind of my position. I think my wife would concur with that position just based on conversations we had and how we know that we are. So, I mean, this whole situation that she has going on is a mess. I think that the moral of the story is you got to get up and get shit on your own. Ain't nobody going to do it for you. Just because your parents work hard and hustle and accumulate wealth, that don't mean that you are going to have anything. That doesn't mean that they're going to leave you an abundance of wealth. It just not necessarily like that. Like I said in other videos, hey, God bless them. I love my kids. But if they grow up to be knuckleheads, I'm completely content with leaving everything to my colleges I went to, all my alma maters, leaving some money for the church, and leaving some money for the National Pit Bull Association of America because I love terriers. They're so adorable and smart and cute. So that's it. Let me know what you all think about that whole story. I'll probably link the story or a video to the story down in the description box. But it's kind of a crazy mess. I mean, the relationship is clearly fractured. Shame on her for putting his business out there or trying to shame him for not taking care of her because she's a grown-ass adult. I mean, this is a situation that needs therapy, but I think at the end of the day, she has to realize that, hey, she didn't work with... Think about it. Dr. Dre started in NWA, walked away from that, started Death Row, walked away from that, started Aftermath. How many people you know achieved that level of success after walking away from several multi-million-dollar ventures to start all over and on the verge to achieve billionaire status? So one thing I think that his daughter has to realize is, hey, everything you get in this world is earned. Nothing is promised to you. You didn't work with Snoop. You didn't work with Suge Knight. You wasn't in Death Row. You wasn't with Eazy-E. You didn't drop none of them funky, cold-ass beats with the 808 or none of that stuff. So at the end of the day, at some point, you got to get up, get out, get it on your own. Let me know what you all think. If any of y'all out there got adult children who are out of college, because I know, if you got a child who's in college, you're going to help that child out. But anybody got any adult children out of there who are out of college, what's the level of help that you're actually willing to help your adult children with? Me, I honestly, I can't even remember. Man, it's been so long. The last time I asked my parents, if I asked my parents for something, I had to have exhausted all other options because I hate asking people for shit. That's just me personally. I don't like asking people for anything. The last people I want to ask for something is my parents. I feel like me as an adult, as a man, my job is not to burden them. Their job was to raise me so I could be productive and take care of my family. So I'll do everything that I have to do within my power before I even win. I get 6 jobs, I cut grass, but I'd be damned if I'm asking them for anything. Because one, I don't want to burden them by asking them. And the other thing is, I don't even want the level of scrutiny that it would come with to ask them for some shit. I just think it'll be crazy. Let me know what y'all think in the comments below. As always, I appreciate y'all checking out this video, tuning in. Y'all take care. I love y'all. Be blessed. Peace. If you're interested in more of this content related to my debt-free journey and finance, check out these videos below. And if you haven't, hit that subscribe link.